Hi, Brian. I just wanted to respond to your post. I thought you did a great job with your presentation, highlighting the key points and making it interesting. So, your first question in regards to STEM or science and math, and whether we should be pushing for more of those degrees, and then also talking about liberal arts degrees in our advancing, world. I just like to say that I am a political science major. That was my that and criminal justice in my undergrad career. So I think the closer I got to graduation, I felt that too. Like, what, not necessarily what have I learned, but what am I going to do? And I don't know, I guess, how much applied ability I came out with, like how much I felt prepared to really do. Yes, I learned things, but how many of those things were really applicable to what I was doing every single day. So I think science and mathematics is something that's going to continue to increase, I think, in a lot of different ways. The only thing I wonder is, once these students get out of their usually rigorous undergrad program, are they going to be able to find a job, or are they going to have to go back? And then something that I also found in the text that was interesting was this argument during that time of whether a degree should be based on classes attended and exams passed, or should demonstrated proficiency and merit be the criteria that is determined whether when you graduate. So I think that raises an interesting point. I mean, I think about the classes that I attended and the exams I passed, and obviously, my GPA was good as an undergrad, but then I think about the skills that I came out of school with, and I think that I obviously found a job, and I would say I've done pretty well for myself, but I think it's just interesting to think about that concept and what are we really testing these students on? Is it showing up? Is it demonstrating that you can study, or in some cases just regurgitate information? So I think it's an interesting argument. And then also I think it's interesting in the text also that during that time, to some people, college was perceived as representing lost time for making one's fortune. I think that that's somewhat of an argument today, that some people say, what is a degree worth, especially a liberal arts degree, when you could be doing something else, or you could already be in the workforce or whatever. So sorry, I didn't mean to turn that question around, but that was just some thoughts. And then in regards to your second question about small community-based colleges, as far as being more effective, I think that in some cases, yes, this is very true, but I think it also depends on the resources of the community and the college. I would say that the community knows the population it's serving better than anyone. They know where these students are coming from. They know what their background is probably like. It's probably easier for them to anticipate resources or connect them to other places or resources, and gives good guidance to students that need it, being so close. So I think I think about this often, but I went to UNC Charlotte, which is a pretty large institution, but I think I sometimes wished I had the best of both worlds. Sometimes I wish that I would have chosen a smaller school where I had a more intimate setting and got to know, my professors better. And then sometimes I kind of wish that I had, gone to a school in the SEC with that kind of game day setting and, call it ESPN Game Day. And anyway, it's interesting to think about what attracts students to those larger institutions over those small community-based institutions. And I think something also to think about is that larger institutions sometimes lose sight of who they're trying to be or the students that they're trying to enroll. I think especially when enrollment and a lot of the state puts some of the bill. So I think some students are going to these huge settings because that's what they see and that's what college has been explained to them as, and then they simply are not going to do well. So and I totally agree with the folk movement that you talked about, and it should be based on what people need. But I mean, I don't know. It's hard to, tell a student, oh, you should go to this smaller college because we're not sure how well you're going to do. So anyway, I'll wrap up. But I really enjoyed your post and look forward to hearing more from you.